Cool. I think, yeah, the day before we gone through the within the automations, we gone through the basically lead automations and case automations, email to case, web to case, and web to lead. So all this we gone through it, right? So today let's focus on the managing support process. So after finishing this, we will go through the report and dashboard. Yeah, I think let's finish like a report and dashboard. Then we'll go to the managing support process. I think managing support process, it's a kind of sales and service cloud. Okay, so let's go through the reports and dashboard today. Yeah. So let me open the reports and dashboard today. Yeah. Okay. So in Salesforce, generally basic report and dashboard available across all the editions. So including like a professional edition, enterprise edition, or unlimited editions, any editions, you will get the standard default report and dashboard functionality. But other than that, in Salesforce, we do have like a web analytics, which is renamed into a analytics cloud. Then after it got renamed into a Einstein Analytics. Okay. So initially it was web analytics. After like it's Einstein Cloud, Analytics Cloud. After that, again they renamed into a Einstein Analytics. Then now these days, again like Salesforce bought the Tableau. Yeah. So now, in order to create a Einstein Analytics, like there is a link which I put together. So you can go and create Einstein Analytics developer editions, because Einstein Analytics developer edition is different than the normal developer editions. In normal developer editions, you will get like, yeah, all the application and everything, but you won't get Analytics Studio basically. In order to build the Einstein Analytics, you need to have Analytics Studio. So to get the Analytics Studio on your developer editions, you need to create a separate developer editions using this link. So this link will help you to create a Analytics Studio developer editions. Basically, it's advanced reporting tool in Salesforce, I would say. So it will combine the external data. You can have a data, and data source will be like a different format. Either it could be in Salesforce, or either it could be in Excel sheet, or maybe like a data source data coming from the different data sources. So using the Analytics Studio, you can combine all this data and make a nice, wonderful report in analytics, Einstein Analytics basically. Now, recently, even like last year, Salesforce bought the Tableau also. Yeah. So again, for them, like a Tableau is the one of their tool. I will go ahead with the App Exchange product. Yeah. I think like here is not updated. So let's go to the App Exchange.
But Sampath, with whatever we have, we will not be able to practice in Tableau, right?
No.
It's a separate software and we have to buy it, right?
Yes. So Tableau, again, it's one of the separate software, I would say, like a separate studio. So it's a standalone studio where you can go and combine all the database. But again, as long as if you are familiar with analytics, it's the same functionality. You will get like additional features on that. So if you are familiar with Analytics Studio, like Einstein Analytics, if you know like all the features on the Einstein Analytics, the same feature available on the Tableau as well.
So you will cover this Einstein Analytics in reports and dashboards, right?
No, that will be a different one. So I'm not going to cover that because there are plenty of topics involved in that Einstein Analytics. It's totally different certification at all altogether. There are like so much. So there is a separate certification for Einstein Analytics. So this topic itself totally different in that, because as I mentioned, they are providing separate developer org for that. So if you want
Oh,
to learn
okay.
more about the Einstein Analytics, it's totally different Salesforce developer org. So that's why I put the link over here. So if you need to know like more about the analytics, science analytics, so you can go and play around with the developer org. So just to get the Einstein Analytics certificates, you may need to complete like a 2 super batch. So that is a prerequisite basically.
Okay.
So if I go for a super batch, so on the consultant, so here, these two certificates you have to finish in order to get the Einstein Analytics.
Okay.
So again, Einstein Analytics data preparations and the Einstein Analytics discovery and the insight, like because the system will give you like again to complete this module, there are prerequisites. So Einstein
Okay.
Analytics desktop explorations. So if you go here, they give you like all the basics how to explore like a more within Einstein Analytics. You will get a separate studio basically.
Okay. So basically, you will have the trail mixes even for that.
Yes, we do have like a trial mix, and yes, so here you can go and create a wonderful dashboard reports. So
Okay.
this will give you like a complete analysis, like even the data coming from the different sources. As I mentioned, like it could be a CSV, or it could be a third party system, or it could be a Salesforce. Like you can take the data and you can visualize the data. You can do some formation like changing the input or output, like concatenation, some addition or subtraction. Like yeah, you can do plenty of things in the web analytics, basically the
Okay.
Einstein Analytics. So the similar model available on the Tableau also. The one additional advantage is that the Tableau will give you like a more robust systems, and also you can publish publicly like the Tableau dashboards. You can create a Tableau dashboard and you can publish into a publicly. But those things is not available in Einstein Analytics. Within Salesforce, you
Okay.
can do plenty, but you cannot publish into a public.
Okay.
So, but in Tableau, they are allowing like to publish into a public or private, or you can create a public folder, private folder, and you can publish into publicly, like anyone can go and see the dashboards. But those features is not there in the
Einstein.
Analytics. And also like there are additional benefits of having a Tableau. So yeah, it directly connect talk to like other systems, but where in case of Salesforce, you may need to configure it additionally. So yeah, and you may need to create a multiple data set, but data set same concept. Like in Tableau also, you have to create a data set in order to get the data from the external system. Then using the data set, you can create a report and dashboard, but that is totally different. Now what we are going to see is like the standard report and dashboard in Salesforce.
Okay.
So what features like with the standard report and dashboard it's available, only like that feature I'm going to cover you today.
Okay.
So generally report means it's basically data representations. So how we can present the data. Yeah, so like the data will be presented to the end users. So especially for top management, CEO or CFO, like if they want to see like the company growth. So this year, what is the revenue? Or last year, what is the revenue? Comparison between like every quarters. If they want to see the information, then they need like a report and dashboards. Okay. So because they cannot go and see like in detail, they cannot go to the navigate into object and look at the details, or yeah, they don't have a time to look into it, everything. So for them, it's just a easier navigation. So they want to see like the high level pictures. So for that, Salesforce report and dashboard will help them to understand the company growth or company progress. So Einstein Analytics Tableau can like display the millions of billions of records, but using the standard report and dashboards, at a time maximum you can display 20,000 records. So 20K records you can display at a time, but you can go and access it like all the details, but you have to scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. But at a time you can see maximum of 20,000 record, not more than that. But where in case of Tableau, yes, there is no limit on the data, or Einstein Analytics also, there is no limit. Like it will take like a number of records and then it will display in the report and dashboards. So report is basically data representations and dashboard is pictorial representations. I would say like it's a kind of picture. So basically you can have a bar chart, by chart, donut chart, like yeah, different charts you can have it, and you can present the data into a multiple format. Now, without report, you cannot create a dashboard. So you need to have a report in order to create a dashboards. So basically the report will be used into a dashboard. Now, how do you share the report into other users? So in your company, if there are like a different department, CEO, CFO, or like, yeah, they have a different department. Now, if you want to share the information to them, like you created some report as an administrator, you created a report. How did you share that report to other users? Okay, so the report or dashboard can be shared using the folder. We cannot directly share the report. You have to create a folder. Through a folder, you can store the report and you can share it. Same way for dashboards. So if you are sharing the dashboard, make sure report folder is shared for them. Okay, because if you are sharing the dashboard, if the report folder is not shared, then they cannot see the dashboard.
So Sampath, how do we share with the non-Salesforce customers or people?
Yeah, you have to take a screenshot and share with them.
Oh, that's the only way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then again, you can create a folder and subfolders. So folder and subfolder available only on Lightning Experience, but in Classic, there is no folder and a subfolder concept. You have just a plain folder, like everything, like you can go and create a folders, but there is no subfolder concept in Classic. But where in case of Lightning Experience, yes, there is a subfolder concept. So you can create a parent folder and you can create a subfolder, which we will go through it. So generally, like whenever if we share the report folder to the users, we have like there are three options. You may get one exam questions. So what are the options available to share the report folder to a users? You can share directly report folder to a users, public group, role and subordinates. You cannot share the report folder to a queue or report folder to a profile. You can share it with a user, public group, role and subordinates, not queue or profile. So they may ask a question like, okay, what are the following feature will support to share the report folder to other users? They will give a users, profile, queue, public group. So you need to pick two. What are the options available? Basically three options: manager, editor, viewer. Viewer means if you share a folder to another users with viewer options, they can read it. They cannot go and modify the report folders. They cannot do anything. They can view it, but they cannot do any modifications. Editor means basically they can do read or edit or delete. Manager means read, edit, delete, and also they can share it with other users because they are a manager, like they can share it with other user as well. So once if we share a folder to other user with the manager permissions, so he can do anything with that folder. Okay. So that's all eye level on the report and dashboard. So now before jumping to our report and dashboard, so in Salesforce, we have a 4 different report format. I would say report types. Yeah, there are 4 different report types are available in Salesforce. One is tabular report, summary report, matrix report, giant report. As an eye level, tabular report is just a table format, rows and columns. Summary, you can go for row wise filter, like grouping. You can group the data into a row wise grouping. Matrix, row wise grouping, column wise grouping, both grouping is possible. Giant report, to combine the data from different object. So maybe like if there is no relationship between the object, but you have a common field similar to owner ID or any other field, so you can combine the two different object without any relationship. So basically it will help you to join. Okay, so these are all the high level informations. Now let's jump into the tabular format in Salesforce. So within a Salesforce, let's create a tabular report. So to create a report, so just go to your applications, and there is a report and dashboard folders. So you will get a report and dashboard folder basically. Okay. So before going into a dashboard, like you must have a report to create a dashboards. So just create a dashboard. Here you will see there is a new report using Salesforce Classic. You can create a report using Classic also still, or whatever you created from Classic, you can access it in Lightning Experience. Then new folder, you can go and create a folder. So I will go and create employee folder. And inside the employee folder, still you can go and create see, you can create a parent folder, and also you can create a subfolders. So employee, inside the employee, there is a subfolder. But if I go back to the Classic, if you go to report, here you can create a folder, but there is no subfolder options. You cannot create a subfolder basically. Whatever you created as a folder, you can see it over here. So employee folder, employee subfolder, everything is just in a tree format. That's it. Yeah. So that is on the Classic look and feel. So in Classic, there is no subfolder options. Okay. Now here you can see like all report which is created by you, and there are public reports which is available across all the users. So if we store a report into a public report folder, everybody can see it within your organization. Private reports visible to only you, and created by me means how many reports which we created. So you can see it over here. Okay. The similar way folders, all folder created by me and created shared with me. If someone create a folder and shared with me, I can see it over here. And there is a favorite options, like if I marked as a favorites, like some of the reports, I can see it over here. Okay. Now let's create a new report. You can create a report using Classic, or you can create a report using Lightning Experience. But in order to differentiate the different format, I would say let's create a report using Classic. Now, as soon as if you click on the create folder, like new create report options, you can see the existing report type. The existing report type available based on your object structure. So based on your relationship and based on your model. So whatever you put together, you can see it over here. So these are all the, I would say, standard report type, which is available by default from the system. But other than this, you can go and create your custom report type if you want. But most of the report can be achieved like using the standard report type. There are some scenarios like, yeah, we can go and create a custom report type, which we'll go through it later stage. Yeah. Now let me create a new employee report. I want to know like how many employees, total employees in my company, and like what is the status, and I want to segregate like based on the country or based on the group, like yeah, based on the age, I want to differentiate it. So to achieve that, like yeah, just search for all the custom object will be stored on the other reports. So here we have an employee, and we have an employee with the salary, we have an employee with the course enrollment and training courses, and the employee history, training courses. So based on the object relationship, it will come automatically all the standard report type. Suppose if you need a custom report type, you can go and create it. Now I will go for an employee. So here, now this is the report builder basically. We call it as a report builder. But even in Lightning Experience, it's similar builder, but the look and feel is different. And here you will see all the fields over here. So all the fields, like all fields are text fields, number fields, date time fields. Okay. And here we do have like one special fields called bucket field. Now, what is the use of bucket field? It's very important. Like, yeah, you may get like a interview or exam questions, whatever it is, like on using the bucket fields. So bucket field will help you to generate the field dynamically on the report. It's not a real field in the backend. It's not there in the backend basically. It won't store in the object. It just lying on the report. Yeah, so you can create a dynamic field on the report, which will take the input from the other fields and it will display, which will go through it. Here you can put a filter conditions. So let's say like all employee and employee created date all times, or you can have a custom times from and to dates. Yeah, or current physical year, previous physical year, 2 physical year ago, current and previous. So here, based on your physical year, it will come automatically all this. If you want today employee creation records, or yesterday employee created record, tomorrow, like last 7 days, last 30 days, there are a lot many. You can go for any conditions, any filter conditions based on the requirement. Yeah, so this is the filter sections. So here we do have like cross filters. So cross filter means, so if you are taking like a two object, employee with the salary, at the moment, if you want to generate the employee only, so there is options, account with opportunity or account without opportunity. So you can go for a cross filters. See, employee with activity, or employee with the course, or employee with the salary, or employee with feed items, with or without. So it will fetch accordingly. Okay, that's a cross filter. And another one is row limit. Yeah, so the row limit basically, so you can filter like a row limit based on the salary. So who is getting highest salaries? So you can identify row limit based on the employee, the salary, or maybe like, yeah, you can have a different fields, short by different fields. So at the moment, like, because only name field is there, that's why like it's showing name field. What we need to do, just add like a couple of other fields. Yeah, just double click, it will add. Now I added all the fields. Now you will see, I can go ahead with the total amount based on the ascending order, descending order. So basically, it will take the total amount column and it will sort based on the ascending order, row limit, 10 rows or 5 rows, like you can go for like a row limit. Okay, at the moment, I don't want row limit again. So this is the builder basically, like the detail page where you can see the detail of the rows, each rows. So tabular format, summary, matrix, joined. So this kind of differentiation is not available in Lightning Experience. That's why I thought of showing it to you in classic view. So in Lightning Experience, it's just a report. As soon as if you add a row filter or column filter, it will turn into a summary or matrix, but there is no real naming difference. So once if you put a summary, it will automatically convert into a summary format. If you put a column filter, like automatically it will convert into a matrix filter, but you cannot see the differentiation in Lightning Experience. But where in case of classic, you can see the difference. But whatever you build a report in classic, the same report will be accessible on the Lightning as well, Lightning Experience as well. But if you create a report in Lightning Experience, that report cannot be accessible in classic. Okay, fine. Now I'm not putting any filters. Let's run the report. So I'm going to save it. Tabular format. And inside which folder? Employee folder, and save. Now, as soon as if you save, you may get like a, yeah, additional report properties where you can go and change the label name. If you decided to change the label name, so definitely, yeah, using the report property, you can change it. Okay, I will click run the report. And see here, there are total around 30 records. And you can see them like in the format of table, because it's a table format. You can see like, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to edit it again. See, now I'm editing the same report in Lightning Experience. But here you can see only this report and giant report, but there is no summary and matrix. But as soon as if you group it by rows and columns, then it will turn into a different format. But I don't want to do that. I will just run it again and I will edit it again in Salesforce Classic, so that like you can see the difference between each report type. So edit in Salesforce Classic. Now I will add the age. Okay. Now I will explain the bucket field. What is the purpose of the bucket field? Now, if we click on the bucket field, add a bucket field. So you can use any of the fields to group it basically. So I'm going to group the age. So I will say like a category. See, the same thing can be achievable using the formula field on the object level itself, but we don't want to create additional fields. So to avoid creating additional fields in report, you can simply create a formula field and you can achieve that functionality. So let's say in age less than or equal to 30, I will go ahead with youth. Same way, greater than 30, or I will add one more column, greater than 30 to 60 or 50, middle age. Above 60, above 50, I'll say old. And if the age is empty, treat it as a 0. Okay. So now if I save, as soon as I save, you'll see the category field get created, and also it will add the values. So based on the age, it will come the different values. Yeah, that is the benefit of having the bucket field. So basically it's just the field. It's one of the field, but it's available only on the report, not in the backend, not in the page layout, nothing. Okay. So in tabular report, you can create a bucket field. And other than that, you can export the data into a CSV file or like formatted report. Formatted means with the same format you will get it. Detailed report, whether like XLS or CSV, two different format you will get it with the different encoding options. So you can export a report. Same way you can delete the reports. So if you don't like you can delete the report options and add to dashboard. This element will be added into a dashboard automatically using this button. Now, other than that, subscribe means basically to schedule. So if you want a notification on this report every day, you can schedule it. So daily on Monday, Tuesday, yeah, all the day daily on a specific time interval. So do you need like attach files like along with this, like if you want to attach the format, like what type of format you want, like whether it's a CSV or yeah, if you don't want attachment, just leave it. You will get the same report like at the table format in your email. And then recipient, to whom you want to send a scheduled email daily basis. So only me, or you can add like a recipient, other user as well. So again, this will be added platform users or Salesforce users. So if who are all having access to that particular folder, they can see it. Okay, so then add conditions to the report, like record count is equal to so and so, then this like record count is greater than 30, display send notifications, or yeah, so you can put a conditions. So basically aggregate conditions. So at the moment just we have a record count, but if you put like additional formulas, so you can put it like email option, summary plus report, or just a summary only. high level only you will get it, or summary plus reports. So the detail, like this information, the same information you will get it via email. Okay, so I will just save this. So in tabular report, the advantages of the tabular report, again, it's a very simple. We can use the bucket field, right? So in order to group the fields, group the records, we can group the records into a different format. Like basically, yeah, you can create a custom fields and you can group it, as I showed you, like the category. So the same way you can group the fields. Then you can see the record displayed as a table format, rows and columns. Then you will have a filter options, different filter options available, and you can schedule a reports. The print button available only on Classic, not in the Lightning experience. You can print the report as well. Then export format, like, yeah, you can export the report. And then row limit. Yes, you can have a row limit in tabular format. Top 5 rows, top 10 rows, like that. And there is an additional one more button, add to campaign. So this button is available only on lead and contact object. If you start creating a report on the lead object or contact object, you can see like additional one more button, add to campaign. So the purpose of the button is you can create a report and add them bulk, just take like a 10 to 15 report records and add them into a email campaigns. So you can group them like together into a one campaign. So using this add to campaign button, you can associate them into a campaign members. So in Salesforce, we have a campaign and the campaign members. Basically, you can create a campaign and the report can be added as a members, like how many contacts are there, like those contacts will be added as a campaign member, or leads added as a campaign members under the particular campaign. Okay. So the disadvantage is basically grouping option is not available. You cannot create a custom formula fields except a bucket field. There is no chart. And also in dashboard, only one specific format available, not other formats. So you can add them into a dashboard, but you cannot use like a different format charts. You can use only the tabular format, nothing else. Okay, so these are all the advantages and disadvantages of the tabular format. Now, before jumping into summary format, summary report, any question on the tabular reports?
Sampath,
No,
how many records can you do at a time, Sampath, on this?
How many?
Is there any limit on that? Or?
No, by default, like as I mentioned, maximum you can see 20,000 record at a time. So not more than that.
Okay.
But you can scroll down and you can see like, yeah, it will load basically again remaining 20,000 record. It will go beyond like that. So you have to scroll down. But at a time, you can see like a 20,000 record. Yeah.
The only advantage of this is the bucket field, right? On this one. Apart from that,
you can create a bucket field and it's a very simple, like it will display, like if you want to display the table format, the data into a table format, you can go for it. So
this bucket field is available on all other formats also, no, Sampath?
no, a bucket field is available all other formats. Yeah. So
yeah, reports, all other formats, bucket field is available.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only the row limit is not available for here, like you cannot see the row limit. So on the summary, basically you will get all the features of the tabular format except the row level, like a row limit. So basically there is no row limit, and column grouping is not possible in summary. You can have only row level of grouping, but there is no column grouping. Here you can create additionally formula fields, additional formula you can create it. You can add them into a chart and you can add them into a dashboard with the different formats. So let me create that. So I'm going to save as See here, now if you add any field into a grouping, it will automatically change into a tabular format, but you don't know here like how it's changing, like you don't know. And also you will get a add to chart button. Previously there is no add chart button. Now you'll get a add chart button. Let me save this and I will show you in Classic so you can see it. So if I go for a Classic, see here, it turned into a summary format. So basically tabular format, there is no grouping. If you go for a summary, now you can drag the fields on the row grouping. So let's say, for example, if you want to know based on the category, you can group it. So youth, how many records, middle, how many records, old, how many records, you can group it. Yeah. So similar way, you can group it like a maximum of 3 grouping. So let's say country, I'm going one more grouping, and additional one more grouping, you can go for it, city. Other than that, you cannot add it. Maximum you can go for 3 level of grouping. Okay. So let me save this. Now, as soon as saved it, now here you will see additional function like a formula. So along with the bucket field, you will see additionally there is a formula. So you can create a formula. So either all summary level you can have it, all grade by summary only, or grouping. Each groups like you can have a total. So yeah, maybe like a category level count, or you can have it like, yeah. So record count. So on each category, like if you want a country level, if you want a count, or just a group one level, I need a count, you can go for it. So there is a count on the group level with decimal place. So edit record. Here one record. Yeah. So like this, you can create an additional formula field on a summary, and also you can do the grouping. And here you will have a detail. If you want to see the detail, you can select it. If you don't want to see the detail, you want to see only high level format, you can see it. And dropping zone. So if I select the drop zone, like you can see the dropping zone information. So if you don't want, you can remove it. Now, additionally, you have a conditional highlights. So the conditional highlights will help you to highlight the numbers. So if you have a number fields, definitely you can highlight it. So let's say like we have a number field on the category count. Yeah, you can highlight that field. So let's say like, for example, if the count is less than 4 or 3, red color, between 3 to 10, yellow color, above 10, green color. So save it. Now if I run the report, see here, number 3, you can see the different count. Number above 10, I think, like, yeah, 26, there is a 1, and you can see the color. So basically you can use the conditional highlighting to highlight the colors. Okay, and other than that, you can have a chart. See here, you can have a nice chart. So bar chart, bar chart, donut charts. So funnel chart. Okay, so here like you will see category like middle, this many people, category youth 3, and old 1. So, and also you'll have a property. If you want to add a chart title, you can add it, and based on which field, based on the record count or category count, and sliced by category or country. You can have a country also. So based on the country, you can see the count. Show value. So it will show the values here itself. Show percentage. It will show you the percentage. Yeah, and the legend left or bottom. So you can see the bottom the legend, or left hand side it will appear over here. Okay, so save. So that's all for the summary. Now I am going to save this one as a different format, like which is matrix. And storing in the employee folder. Save. Now I just created matrix format, but I didn't put the column, only row grouping we put it. Now let's put the column grouping also. So edit in Classic, change into a matrix format, and you can see there is a youth column row grouping, and here is the column grouping. So you can change the row grouping, column grouping. So now if I highlight this, so just I will record count, I don't want here, and also I don't want detail. So you can see the summary, high level summary. So youth on India country, how many? Youth on US, how many? Youth on empty country, how many? Same way, middle empty country 11, India 6, US 1. Old empty country, there is a 1. And you can see the color difference. Yeah. Now just save this and close. Now employee matrix. So here you can see the category, but if you want to see the detail, simply just enable it and you can see the details. So detail of rows, you can see the rows. So here this is high level summary, and each rows you can see the details. So here itself you can simply enable it or disable it. If you don't want the row count, just remove the row count. And if you don't like a grand total, so yeah, it won't give you the grand total like the last columns. But if you want a grand total, you can see it. Overall, how many? Yeah. So now if I go for chart, like if I want to edit this chart instead of like this chart, like I can go for a stacked bar. Stacked bar, here you can go for a different options like a category or country. Here you can group them into a different. If you have a multiple categories, it will automatically aligned. But at the moment, yeah. So still like the stack bar is not appear. If I go for a column, let me add a chart because it's so tiny. So and yeah, I'm going to change it basically. We'll go through like the dashboard concept within a dashboard itself. Like here itself, we can add a chart, but again, the same thing can be done using dashboard. And here itself, like you can put a filter, like this is a lightning experience filters. So you can see like a different filter options. So based on the employee created dates, so all time, like yeah, all the options. Like again, whatever you done in the classic, same way available in lightning as well. And the one additional things in lightning experience is you can lock the filters. So if I go for a filter, if you add any, so there is a cross filters as I showed you earlier. And if you add a filter, let's say like employee date of birth between so and so date. Yeah, as a value, as a field. So that's the benefit of having date of birth is equal to from this field. But this options is not available in classic, this kind of facility. And also you can lock the filters. So as soon as if you locked, nobody can modify that except the manager. So who is having a read permissions or edit permission, they cannot modify it, but the manager definitely like he can modify it because he will have full rights. So yeah, no one can edit the locked filter on the report run page. So during the run mode, nobody can edit that. But if they have edit privileges, they can customize the report and they can go to modify this. but during the runtime, they cannot modify this filter. So at the moment, there is no result. So save, run it. Okay. So the next one is summary. So just giant report. I'm going to save as giant format.
Sampath,
Yeah.
even if we do in classic, you will get the same outcome. I mean, like same answer, like our outcome.
Yeah.
But I just want to find out, like, what difference is that, like, for training for classic and this light for this, sorry, classic and this lightning.
So in lightning experience, you will get a like additional, the look and feel very nice, and also like, yeah, you can change the format easily, like the layout, basically, like there is no difference. They are using the same filter, but here, like, you can, there is no like the format, basically like a summary matrix. The look and feel, it's like a old way of looking the dashboards, but here, like the nice way, you can see it. There is no other difference. Like the
Okay.
data is there in the database, like just you're taking and representing into a old style and new style. That's it. So
Okay.
yeah,
Apart
there
from
is
that,
no additional benefits.
no other
like that. Okay, so now just this one I created as a giant report. Now to change the giant report, either you can go for a classic or lightning, whatever it is. So here you can change the format giant. So as soon as if you change the giant format, you can see additional one more button, add report type. You can choose the other reports. So basically other folders. Now we created employee customer object, right? So employee objects. Now you can link it to the customer object as well. So based on the common field, you can group together. So now I just combined the employee and the customers. You can see the common field between these two is owner. So based on the owner, the information will be displayed. So now if I run, see here, this is a separate blog. Blog A shown like employee, and blog B will display as a customer fields, all the customer object fields. If you want to add additional fields, simply like you can go to the customer informations, add additional fields. Still it's not adding, on double click. Let me add it. Yeah. So, and the filter conditions, you can have it each block. This is the block A, block B, like multiple blocks. You can see it in the giant report with the different objects, and you can put the filter condition for each block separately. This block you can have a different filters, and this block, like another customer block, you can have a separate filters. Yeah. So save and run the report. So yeah, now this is the employee block. You can see all the details, and this is the customer block. You can see like the customer information based on the owner, based on the filter condition, and based on the owner, you can see the informations. Basically, the giant report will help you to put two different objects into a single place where you can compare it. So if you have a requirement where really you need to compare the data, so you can use like a giant format. Okay, so in giant format, like there is no chart functionality. You'll see here there is no chart until if
But in the joint format, it can be a mix of both the standard and custom objects, right?
anything, yeah, you can cover anything. But as soon as if you have a common field, based on the common field, it will identify the record and then it will display. So in this case, we have an employee and there is a owner field is the common field. So based on the owner, it will display record owner.
Okay.
Okay, at the moment I cannot add a chart, but as soon as if I put a grouping, Then we can add a chart. So if you want additional blocks, you can add it like, yeah, this is for Lightning. So previously I showed you in Classic how to add a block. Now in Lightning you can add like this. There is no changes, but again it's a different format. That's it. So the look and feel is different. Now if you put a grouping, so let's say like based on the country. So yeah, you'll see you can put a filter maximum on common fields, not other fields. So the common field will be a owner. So I can put a grouping on the based on the owner. So as soon as if you put a owner, then you can add a chart. So each user how many records. Yeah. So you can see it. So save. Now let's move on to the dashboard. Now we created a report with a different format. Now how we will put together into one nice dashboard. So to do that, click on the dashboard. I'm going to create a new folder. Okay, so here you can create a new dashboard. And store it into a employee, that folder, and create. Now you'll see you can have a maximum of 20 component in a dashboard. Okay, so that's a previous limit. Maybe I'm not sure like whether they increased it now. I may need to check that. So maximum you can add a 20 component. So now if I go for a summary, see here, so you can have a chart. Same thing, you can go for a matrix. We cannot draw this chart because there is no data. I don't know, like, yeah, oh, okay, based on the category and this. Okay, so if we go for country, let me go for it. Just I'm going to do one small changes on the summary format. Just give me a second. So if I go to the report, employee summary report, I will add a one grouping so that it's easy for us. So edit. Just based on the country or based on category, we can go for it. I am going to remove this. So save this. Yeah, now it's coming. Okay. So save. Now go back to the dashboard. Edit. So instead of this format, I will go ahead with the, come on. Why y-axis? There is issue in the bucket field. So except other than the donut chart, like I cannot use the bar chart. Yeah, so it says like category count. Let me go back to that. So on the report summary, because I put a bucket field, so edit in Classic. I will put like any other fields, let's say like a country. Okay, and save. Close. Now if I go back to the dashboard, employee dashboard, edit, summary, and you can see the different format. Yeah, okay, good. So here, like again, I can go for like the same report. Still, like this is not refreshed, so just save. I will delete and re-add it. So add a component, summary, select like a different format, summary. So gadget, like you can count like this report will help you to understand like what is your the revenue. So if the company have like a kind of a sales cycle, so you can have like a revenue target. So you can put like a different colors, like you can modify this basically. So you can put the limits. So 0 to on specific count, what colors? So 0 up to this count, like what color? You can have it different colors. So for other chart, like yeah, I'm going to use like maybe donut. Yeah, so maybe like you may get a one more question. So what are the different format available in Salesforce? Like yeah, so bar chart, so horizontal bar, vertical bar, stacked is not available because we need to have a two grouping in order to display the stacked, and the line chart and donut chart, the matrix and gadgets and funnel, and this is scatter and normal table. So yeah, so like this you can have a different format. And one additional thing is that even in dashboard, so I just saved it. So here you can refresh the dashboard, edit, and also you can subscribe. So you can schedule it. You will get a same format like the picture format in your dashboards. You can schedule it. Yeah. So if you want to share it like with the external user at the moment, like there is no other options, like you ought to take a screenshot of this and then send it to them. But if you are using web analytics, like Einstein Analytics, you can pin it like you can take a grab the screen grab, like they are giving like a multiple options. Take a like a kind of screenshots. So within the system itself, there is a screenshot option, and you can place it in your chatter group or wherever you need. But here you have to take a normal screenshot and then put it into like convert it into image format. Then you have to use it.
Okay.
So here, like you can have additional filter here. So common filter for all the dashboards. So let's say like I want to see age greater than. So our age is equal to like, yeah, the filter value. Or greater than 30, I will say. So you can put a common filter. So if I just save, done, and refresh it. At the moment you can see all the records. But as soon as if you put the filter, see, greater than 30, no records. Like yeah, it will refresh and you can see like the count is less, 27. The count is less basically, because it will take only based on the filter condition, it will filter like all the dashboards, like all the report it will take and put these filter conditions, and then it will display accordingly the data. The similar way you can have a different filters. So you can have additional filters like email address is not equal to null. Yeah, so like this you can have a different filters, so you can filter it. Okay, so that's all on the dashboard side. Now one other thing which you guys need to remember it, you can go and create a custom report type. So to do that, click on the setup, look for a report type. So most of the time we don't go for like a custom report type. Generally, like we will use the standard report type. But if you need like a different relationship, or maybe like yeah, you want like if there is a lookup relationship, sometimes you won't get like the related object automatically as a standard report. So you may need to create a custom report type. So let me create a custom report type. So for employee, and which category you want to store it, I am going to store it into other report. And in development deployed already, So now you can add a subgrouping. So let's say like employee with salary or course enrollment, then course enrollment with activity. Yeah, after that there is no other options. Maybe you can go for like employee with, we have salary will link it to activity. There is no other, but again you can go maximum 4 level, not more than that. A, B, C, D, you can go for maximum 4 level. If you have other object and relationship, you can go for like a maximum 4 level. So here also, this is the one I think exam questions. So A may not. So here each A record must have at least one B record. A record may or may not have a B related record. They will give a 4 options. Out of that, you need to choose 2. These 2 you have to select basically. So what are the options are possible during the custom report type? Let's assume like you have 2 objects. Now you are making the relationship between the 2 objects, and what are the possible options available in custom report type. So they will give these 2. Additionally, they will give some different options. So to confuse you, like they will give you different options. So you need to be very careful. See here, A will as a primary and salary, B is a sub. So here always start with A. Each A record may, they give like each B record may have a record. They will convert the termings, like they will put a B first, A first, just to get confuse you. So this is the one exam questions. Okay, now you can combine the employee, salary, activity. So now save it. I will change this one, employee with salary, employee, salary, and activity. I will make it like this then. Yeah, now this report type is not available as a standard. Now, if I go for a report again, new report, we stored on the other reports. You can see that where is that, like employee, salary with activity. Okay, so now using these 3 objects, you can go and create a, what is it, all time. I need to create a date is equal to all time. So basically it will take like all my employees, like I'm going to put all the employees, but still like there is no data, because it will combine salary, employee with the salary and activity. So basically it will combine all these 3. So along with all these 3, there is no records. So employee must have at least salary record and must have at least activity. So for that scenario is not satisfied any of the records. So that's why like you can see none. So you need to have an employee, the employee associated to salary and associated to a salary associated to a activity, basically like some call or meeting or something like that. So then only like the record will display over here. So I will save this one also under employee. Okay, so that is the custom report type. And one thing, like again you need to know on the custom report type, once if you create a custom report, after if you go and create a field on any of the objects, that field is not shown on the report. So you have to go back to the custom report type and add that field into the layout. So you have to go here and you have to edit the layout, and that field is available over here. You need to drag it. So after creating the custom report type, if you create any new field on the object, that field is not visible on the report by default, because you used custom report type for those, how many reports you used for a customer report. Those reports you cannot see the new fields until you go and add that fields manually. That is the one drawback of having the custom report type. So you need to be very careful. Then other than that, we have another one more, like a report snapshot. So basically, in order to take the history of the reports, whenever if you run the report, it will take a backup and it will store into a custom object. Yeah. So you are running the report, you have like around 30 records at the moment. So it will take all the copy of the 30 records and it will store into in your object. Again, next time, whenever if you are running it, it will take a copy and it will store into a same object. So basically, source and a target object. It will store into an object with the field mapping. You have to do all the field mapping. So reporting snapshot, basically, it will help you to take the backup of your report. So daily basis, it will take a backup and it will store into a custom object. So for this, you have to create additional one more custom object to store the report history. I would say this is like unnecessary data. Basically, we are wasting like the storage. So like, again, there are some company, if they need like a report history, they can export it and keep it via email or whatever it is. But if you are using the report snapshot, it's unnecessarily like you are occupying additional data storage. So I would say like, I don't recommend generally for report snapshot. If you need like a backup, go and take a backup in the Excel sheet, like a daily basis, schedule it. It will come to you like automatically as an email. Unnecessarily, like if you create a new object here, so to take a report snapshot, you have to create a new object, and then the report, like a summary report, has to be mapped into the object. Like each field you have to map it. So whenever you run it, whatever the report data is there in the report. So if I go here, if you take any one of the summary or tabular format, I think tabular format can be used for reporting snapshot. Now, whenever if you run this report, it will take like the exact copy. You have to create again a custom fields with all these fields, and it will take the exact copy and it will store into a custom object this many record one time. Tomorrow again, if you are refreshing the report, it will take the same copy and it will store like with a different date format. So whenever if you refresh it, the date is different, refresh date. It will create a one more additional fields automatically. So you can store the refresh date. So it will capture the changes and it will store into a custom object. That is the benefit of having the like a report snapshot. Okay, that's all. Any other questions? Anyone?
Sampath, on dashboards, viewing like dynamic dashboards, and could you please explain that one?
Yeah, I think like, yeah, for dynamic dashboard, basically, so as a user, like if you create a dashboard, by default you are the owner. Okay, so now dynamic dashboard means basically you can run as a users. The logged in, based on the logged in users, the report will be different. See, now if I share this folder to you, you can see the same users, same count. You cannot see any difference basically. But if I make it as a dynamic dashboard running as a users, so if I go for a classic, so on the dashboard side, so at the moment of what it says,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, so now if you want a dynamic dashboard, so click on the dashboard, the report, go to employee, right? So employee, because I created like using Lightning Experience, that's why like here I'm not able to change it. So to view the, like to change this, basically you need to create a dashboard in Classic. Let me create one new dashboard. See here, there is options.
Okay.
View as a specific user, or run as a logged in users. So run as a logged in user is a dynamic report.
Okay.
So whenever the user is logged in and they can, based on their access level, they can see the count. The dashboard will change automatically. But here you see, you have to drag it like the component in classic view and you have to choose the report. So what kind of report like you need, like you have to choose the data source. So let's say under the report, under the employee report, you can choose the tabular. Again, this will apply only tabular. So I will choose the summary. But as soon as the component, if you put a table format, now you can drag the tabular report. But again, for this, you need to have a row limit. So if you have a row limit, it will display tabular format. So it's in the summary, like if you go to the component, or giant or matrix. Yeah, I'll go over matrix. Okay, there is no additional difference here. Also, you can add a filter, and only thing like a view dashboard as uses, like at the moment it's support on classic. Lightning yet to get the future basically. So they will, Salesforce will provide like that feature also in Lightning.
Okay, thank you.
One other thing, I think, 1 second. So report and dashboard, is to anything I'm missing. I thought of remember one thing, but yeah. Let me look at the topics if I missed anything. So at the moment of the component, that's fine. Okay, yeah. Once if you create a dashboard, you can add the dashboard in your home page or wherever you need. So if I go back to the home page, I'm in the classic. Let's go back to the just I'm canceling this. So if I go to the home page, so here you can add it. So edit the page. And you can put the dashboard wherever you need. And you can choose what type of dashboard you want to display. Yeah, so you can see like a employee dashboard and like a customer dashboards. So you can have a multiple dashboard and then you can put it like on the home page. Okay, so any other questions? I think I'm done. Luckily today Zoom is not stopped, so it's wondering like it's continuously using it, I think. So I'm stopping now. Stop recording.